There was an occasion of what I felt as facing death most recently. I don't do the drugs or do any substances, but I'm not sure if this is related to some of the phenomena. I felt that my brain was getting dizzy all of a sudden and uh, felt like possibly a stroke. My father had a stroke. I have sometimes had high blood pressure. I've been careful what to eat and all that. So I was on the bed, actually watching TV, I believe, and then I turned off the TV and trying to assess the situation, what's going on. I felt dizzy, so the first thing I thought was like, oh, this is not usual. So I decided to take it easy, not do anything, not jump up or anything, just lay down on the bed. And I tried to move later, but the feeling of dizziness stayed. So I decided to not to do anything. As time passed, I felt like, well, it's not going to go away. I'm not sure what to do. And I didn't feel like doing anything because movement, changing the blood pressure, whatever the change may not be good. So I stayed there. I closed my eyes. The situation was still there. Then start to think a few things. Not too many, but one was that if I have a stroke of heavy dose, of course I may die, and then what does that mean? Few things I thought was one, how anybody would find, because I'm living here alone. Maybe the neighbor may notice it. The next thing is, what's the implication other than finding my dead body? I thought about few things. Inheritance. I took care of most of the things, but there was a little issue that I felt maybe I should have done. But I didn't think much about it. I just stayed in that state, observing whatever is out there. I had a peaceful feeling. There's no fear of death. And having learned to let go of things in the mind, I just stay there quiet. And if I'm dying, well, let that be. So there's no rush, no regret, no desire, just peaceful. But physically, I wasn't so capable, so I stayed there. And when I noticed I was sleeping and I woke up, started to move, but the feeling was still there that I thought I should have moved too much. I noticed that was 5:20 on the clock. Going back to sleep, and then next time was 6:40 or something. About an hour or so later, I woke up and then I tried to move around if I see any changes because the sensation didn't seem to change much. So I start to be more curious how much I can move around. It was upstairs, so I started to crawl down the stairs, but I wasn't feeling great. This dizziness stayed with me. So again, didn't want to push too much, and then on the floor down below, right through the kitchen, I stayed and lay down on the floor again. After a while, nothing has changed, feeling the same. So going back and forth, I just maintain that sense of being. What can I do? If nothing can be done, then let go, move. If it's dizzy, stay. There's nothing to rush, nothing to do. No need to use the brain. And eventually I went back up to the bed upstairs. And then I slept. I may have woken up a few times, but long evening, long night. Next morning, I think I woke up at 6:30 or so. Still a bit dizzy, but nothing has changed. And I thought, maybe this is not a stroke. Maybe something I ate or drank. I've given something from my friend, so maybe what he gave me had some kind of a substance. I don't know. But I don't do the drug or anything. So I kept those stuff I was given for a long, long time. But for whatever reason, I had an occasion of cooking something. I put a little bit of this one just for fun of it. The next day I felt better, and the following day I felt better, and my mind was clear. What I learned out of this experience is that actually fairly positive. I was facing death. That's what I felt. And I accepted, and I let go of any effort. No regret, no expectation. And I think it may be something to do with my recording about being comfortable as you are. And there's such a recording from the voice memo I posted on YouTube. Or I had developed another one called Melting into Nature. A few of those videos recently. And now, 3-4 days later after that incident, I thought back of Rinzai, who is a Zen master. There are lots of, what do you call that, quote that people appreciate. One of the memorable ones that I have of Rinzai saying is that, let's say in English, how do you say it? It's good to be not doing anything. His word is nohohon to steal, doing nothing but nohohon, which means just be. And that's the best is his comment. The same as I feel with my experience of feeling comfortable as you are, or melting into the nature, or no mind. The mind is not busy, so it's spacious and yet intuitive. When I was going through that experience that evening, I was also checking my mind function. For example, I left my eyeglasses underneath the table or something, and later when I woke up and I tried to see if I remember what I did and see if the glasses there or not, so all the cognitive sense I checked, and it's functioning without any trouble. Only the point is the mind is more open, spacious, nothing to dwell on, perhaps like a child, or perhaps like a brain of a bird, or whatever the animal, maybe even fish. I felt I was aware of what's going on. And my sense was that all the living beings may have this sense, whether the species is human or not. There's nothing to verify that, but just the intuitive sense. And again, there's a peace with this calm and quiet mind. And that sensation and the sense and the spaciousness in our mind is continuing and being comfortable as I am. I think I said something about this before, that I think it was the one about the melting into nature, that once you are melted into the nature and be the nature, everything is you and everything is nature, natural. We are sharing the common law of nature, and there's peace in it because you're going with the nature's way. And the nature's way goes on from the beginning of the time to the end of the time. So you're riding the way of nature as time passes, and you are the nature, melted. But there's awareness. So experiencing this, facing the death situation, and going through all these voice memos and things that I've been posting, I'm checking from different angles and reference point to realize what this is, which you cannot explain by word, but to share or try to share, as many have done. So, in summary, facing death is a good experience to see how you are prepared for that and bring backward to that experience into your living life. There are many things that can consume me or bother me, and it happens because that's how the brain functions at certain area, in its certain function and a certain area of the brain. But at the same time, behind that, or within that, if you call that, is this sense of being. And that's as Daisetsu said, that well, the ultimate of Zen training is to feel peaceful and secure and have such mind. Again, tomorrow is unknown, new event happens, computer program may fail, the Wi-Fi, the printer may go down as it did, and we go through life facing those hurdles. But the point I think I can share here is that all of that, but behind it is the flow of nature, way, that you are, we are, that. And that, if you open up our mind, and it's like a thy will be done, just be with the flow of the nature, we may find the peace and understand our state of being, possibly beyond life and death. May peace be with you. Thank you.